All right. Hello, hello, hello. Uh, if you are on here live, let me know. How's everybody doing today? I'm excited to be here with you because what we're about to dive into could truly transform the way you work and thrive in your business. Now, I'm Cindy Baker. I'm a productivity coach and ADHD strategist. I help entrepreneurs and other creative professionals overcome the overwhelm and manage their time, their energy, their focus so they can scale their business. So connect with me if that is something that you are interested in. But today we're going to talk about I'm going to give you a personal guide to brain optimization for business success. I know that sounds very scientific, but I'm just going to break it down very simple because I am a simple person. So let me just start with a question. How many of you have ever felt like your brain was working against you instead of for you? Put in the chat if that is you. And if you're watching the replay, please just say hashtag replay. Let me know. I do go back and read those comments. But maybe you feel like your brain is working against you. Maybe you've been stuck in a cycle of overwhelm, procrastination, or decision fatigue. So put in the chat if that is you. And you're not alone. I see some people are. And as an ADHD and productivity coach, I've worked with countless entrepreneurs and other professionals who face these challenges every day. And here's the great news. Your brain is actually the most powerful tool that you have to succeed. It just needs the right optimization strategies. And once I realized how, or not realized it, I'd learned how to work with my brain. That's when I really started to see success. So in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover your personal guide to brain optimization for business success. So this is not just about tips and hacks. It's about leveraging how your brain works to supercharge your focus and enhance your creativity, your productivity, all that. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I am going to get a little scientific. I want to talk about your brain's operating system. Now, I did have a visual I was going to show you, but it looked too much like a textbook. But first, we need to understand the basics of how your brain operates. So think of your brain like a computer. It has an operating system that drives how you think, how you feel, and how you act. And there are three key areas that we're going to focus on today. The prefrontal cortex, that's right in the front of your brain. And that's your CEO. It's responsible for decision-making, planning, self-control, but it's also where overwhelm happens when we overload it. That's the prefrontal cortex. Excuse me. And then you have the limbic system back here. And this is your emotional hub. And it's where you process stress, fear, motivation, happiness. A hyperactive limbic system can lead to procrastination or impulsivity. And then the default mode network, that's your autopilot mode. And this is where your mind wanders. Now, the good news, it's also where creativity happens. So here's the thing. These parts of your brain are amazing when they're in sync. But when they're out of balance, they can wreak havoc on your productivity and success. So the key to optimization is learning how to align them. And maybe nobody's ever talked to you about this before, but let's start with focus. We live in a world full of distractions. We talked about that last week. And your prefrontal cortex can only handle so much before it actually shuts down. So there are some ways that you can optimize your brain for laser sharp focus. One is to work in sprints. Your brain works best in bursts of focused energy, like 90 minutes. And after that, you want to take a 15-minute break to recharge. That's called the ultradian rhythm or something. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I know how you spell it. It's ultra and then DIAN rhythm. So eliminate distractions, create a distraction-free workspace by silencing notifications, close all the extra tabs you have open, let others know when you're in deep work session, and practice mindfulness. Just 5 minutes of deep breathing mindfulness a day can train your brain to stay in the present moment and resist distractions. Because if you're thinking about your breathing, you're not really thinking about anything else. You can get apps for this as well, like Headspace, Calm, things like that. Remember, focus isn't about grinding harder. It's about working smarter, by respecting your brain's limits. That's important. Now, besides working in sprints, but let's talk about creativity and problem solving. Like brainstorming, for example. These are critical for entrepreneurs, and they're driven by your default mode network. So here's how to optimize it. You want to schedule white space. I know most people would think, oh, well, you're a productivity coach. You want us to color in every time block, Well, creativity thrives when you're not overloaded. You can't be creative and super ultra scheduled and busy all the time. So block out time in your calendar for just unstructured thinking. I think of a lot of ideas when I'm walking. So take a walk, doodle or daydream. I don't know why people resist this so much. They think, oh, well, I've got to be working. I've got to be doing something all the time. But if you're not being creative, you're not taking time to think of new ideas, you're going to stagnate. So you can use mind mapping. I use that a lot when I'm planning, but it's a visual way of just connecting all your ideas. Instead of writing a to-do list, try mind mapping your ideas. And this taps into your brain's natural ability to make connections and see the big picture. Excuse me. Change your environment up. If you're stuck, get up and move to a different location. Step outside or work in a different space. A simple change of scenery can stimulate new ideas. So creativity isn't something that you force. It's something you allow to flow by giving your brain the freedom to wander. So something else besides not having the space for creativity, something else that hurts it is stress. So you got to know how to manage stress and regulate your emotions. When your limbic system is in overdrive, it's hard to focus. It's hard to think clearly. Stress isn't always a bad thing. A little bit can actually get you going, That's why we tend to kick it into gear right before a deadline, right? So here's how to stay in the optimal zone. You want to practice the 5-5-5 technique. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath and focus on 5 things you can see. Like I know that sounds weird, but just 5 things you can see, 5 things you can hear, and 5 things you can feel. I know even somebody who did this when they were afraid to fly, and on the airplane, it did that. Take a deep breath and focus on 5 things you can see, 5 things. And don't go off on a tangent like, oh, I can see that pile of paper and oh my gosh, I got so much to do. No, just stop. I see a pile of paper, I see my computer, I see my bulletin board. I know it sounds weird, but it grounds you in the present. and set realistic goals. Break big projects into smaller, actionable steps. Your brain loves the dopamine hit of checking off a task, right? So make your big projects small little things you can check off. Prioritize sleep, exercise. I know you've heard that before, but why don't we do it more? Sleep is when your brain resets and it clears out the mental clutter. Excuse me. And exercise, even if it's just 20 minutes a day, that boosts your endorphins, it sharpens your focus. I went to an exercise class today. I didn't feel like going, but I sure felt better afterwards, and I felt more mentally able to focus. Remember, you're not aiming for zero stress. You're aiming for managed stress that keeps you motivated without burning out. So just to kind of recap, here's what we've covered today. You now have a personal guide to optimizing your brain for business success. You got a little overview of how your brain's operating system works, how to harness focus, boost creativity, and manage stress. But knowledge without action is just procrastination with better vocabulary. It's action that creates the change. So here is my challenge for you. Choose just one strategy, one from today, and implement it this week. Maybe it's creating a distraction-free workspace, practicing mindfulness, or scheduling white space for creative thinking. Whatever it is, commit to it and see how your brain responds. And if you want to dive deeper, connect with me. I'm here to help you unlock your brain's full potential so you can achieve your biggest goals with clarity, with confidence. Again, if you are new to me, I'm Cindy Baker. I am a former educator. I'm a productivity coach and an ADHD strategist. I work with entrepreneurs and other creative professionals who want to overcome that overwhelm and learn to manage their time, their focus, and their energy so they can scale their business. And if that's you, I would love to chat with you on Zoom. Just reach out, let me know that you want to meet, and I'll send you my calendar link. We'll look at ways that you can optimize what you're doing now. If it makes sense for you to work with me one-on-one or in one of my group coaching programs, then we'll explore that and you can answer your questions. There's no obligation. You know, all I ask is that if you do book the call, that you actually show up. Unless you cancel it, but don't just no show because my time is valuable. But thank you so much for joining today. I want you to go out there and optimize your brain's functioning so you can grow your business. And I will see you next time. Bye.